Well, I'm not sure where it goes, but it goes somewhere, right?
Well, hello and welcome back to the Bikepacking Dash YouTube channel. I'm back in the garage. There's stuff everywhere. I've got baby stuff. I've got a yellow umbrella. There's a mirror down here for some reason, but I've got the bike in the background. That's important. I've not been bikepacking long. Those who have tuned into the channel, I'm on episode 7. Go and check it out. Links up here. There's 5 major things I reckon I've learned since I've started bikepacking. I'm going to share my little bit of knowledge with you because if you're thinking about that first trip, it's important to get started on the right foot. So let someone who's made the mistakes tell you what not to do. Okay, tip number 1, don't overpack. You're going bikepacking, you've got a bike, you've bought some bags. These are 2 of my Oatly bags, by the way. Just did a 6-month review on them. Absolutely stellar bits of kit, so go and watch that if you're interested. I'll put a little link up about now. Very, very, very good quality and very good to attach to the bike. It's easy to get these bags and go, there's a good bit of room there, let's get everything in. Just in case, what if? What if is the biggest question. I'm a worrier. I probably take more things than most people take bikepacking, but I am slowly learning to cut it down. And it's all down to preparation, okay? Where are you going? How long are you going for? What terrain are you covering? What kind of distances? What's the weather to be like? If you think of all these things first, there's a lot of things you can cut down on. Just now, August, I am going up towards Edinburgh for a bikepacking trip at the end of this month, which will be episode 8, by the way. If you've not checked the other 7 out, go and have a look. I'm only going for an overnighter. The weather's to be alright, which means things like taking lube for my chain, it's just not happening. I'm not filling my bag up with it. I'm not taking up space. I'm not adding extra weight to my bike. I'm not going to need it because I'm going to prepare. I'm going to make sure this right here, that I've checked everything. Everything is nice and tight. All the bolts are done. I'm going to give it a wash. I'm going to make sure the chain's clean. I'm going to make sure it's lubed and I'm ready to go. Because if I do all that at the start, I can cut down on little things like this. I'm only going for one night. I'm not taking all the tools in the world. If something catastrophic happens and it's completely unrideable, yes, I'm having to phone somebody for some help or push or carry it to the nearest town. Think of all the bike rides you've been on in your life. How many times has something catastrophic happened? Yeah? Let's go on the basis of probability here. Prepare first, think about what you need. Don't overpack because it's only going to be heavier and the chances that you're going to get home, unpack it and you've not used half of it. If I'm going on a winter trip, I want to be warm. Look at me, I'm scrawny. There's not much going on here. I want to be toasty. Think about your layering, okay? I'm going for 1, 2, 3 nights. It's going to be a bit cold. I'm taking the winter sleeping bag. I'm not saving 500 grams by taking the summer sleeping bag. It's not happening. I want to be cozy when I get in my tent. But the flip side to that is I'm not taking 17 top layers and 3 pairs of bib tights and 7 pairs of socks. You've got to be sensible about it. That's going to fill up one of your bags considerably, okay? And then you start thinking about, well, where's all my food going? And where's all my my camping gear going? My sleeping mat, my cooker, and my power bank, and everything else, okay? Don't eat up room by just going, it's winter, just in case. What if my socks get wet? Well, here's the thing. Invest in 1 decent pair of waterproof socks, decent pair of waterproof trousers, and a nice lightweight waterproof jacket. Yeah. Yes, it's an expense, but if you layer properly and you're waterproof on the outside, all that stuff on the inside, if you're only going for 1 or 2 days, all of a sudden I'm only taking 1 pair of bib tights, 1 base layer, preferably a merino wool one. Just gone to merino wool, worth every single penny. Beautiful stuff. And it doesn't smell as bad. I'm only taking one jersey top. It's just, you're saving so much room and space, and it's all down to the planning that you do and the gear that you've got. So don't overpack, but likewise don't underpack. Think about creative solutions, okay? I'll give you a quick example. Right here, fake water bottle, cost me about £3, okay? Just plastic, nothing special. Open it up, all of my spares inside. I'm talking a pump, I've got boot patches, a puncture repair kit, tubeless plugs, a big multi-tool, I've got a spare tube, I've got a tyre key if I need to get the tyre off and back on. Yeah, everything you can think of in there. Boom, goes in a water bottle cage. Luckily, this bike has 3, so it goes right on the bottom one. But if you look on the outside, let me bring it a bit closer, all the way around here, I've got Gorilla Tape. Strong, waterproof, weatherproof tape. I've wrapped it around nice and tight. For me, this has 2 benefits. If something snaps, like it did a few months ago, one of the bottle cages I had, I could hear a rattling as I was going along. It completely sheared. Took it off, taped it right up to stop it rattling, managed to make it the rest of the trips. However, you can put it on. In an emergency, it's going to get you out of a pinch, And the second benefit of wrapping it around the bottle, it makes the bottle a little bit thicker so that when you put it into your bottle cage holder, it sits a little bit more snug. So if you are going bike packing off-road, you're hitting the gravel and the rocks and things like that, it's not bouncing around rattling because it's quite heavy. You don't want it to move very much because it's only going to cause wear and tear on bolts and parts. Get it sitting in there nice and snug. Creative solutions. Think a little bit outside the box. Okay, tip number 2. And this is going to sound really hypocritical from someone who's got a YouTube channel about bike packing, but do it for yourself. Don't do it for Instagram. Don't do it for YouTube. Don't do it for Facebook. Have your own reasons. What are you going for? Are you looking for an adventure? Are you looking to see somewhere new? Like me, have you maybe had to take a little step back from your fitness goals and discover something new? Whatever it is, make sure the reason you go on your trip is something that you're passionate about, because if you're not passionate about it and you're just going out there to kind of take that perfect selfie or create some content, if you're not passionate about it, it's not going to come across in your picture, and it doesn't matter if that picture gets a gazillion likes. You've just spent your time potentially away from your family going out there, and really, what good's it like? It might give you a little morale boost for 5-10 minutes, but the adventure and all of the effort you put into planning it and things like that are the memories and things that are going to stay with you for a lot longer than you looking at your phone and going, oh wow, 7,000 likes, that's great. Trust me, okay? Do it for you. But in addition to that, we have to mention, enjoy yourself. There are things called type 1 fun and type 2 fun. Type 1 fun, I believe, is fun at the time. You're out there, you're loving it, everything's great, you're enjoying it at the time. A lot of my bikepacking trips, especially in the good weather, are definitely type 1 fun. January, February, March this year, there's parts of it that are type 1 fun, but there's also a lot of parts of type 2 fun. And type 2 fun is, you look back on it and you're happy you did it, there's a sense of achievement and pride, and you maybe battle through some tricky situations and things like that. At the time, you're not loving it. I can think of one particular moment, February at Hope's Reservoir. I was riding to meet my friend Sonny, trying to get a picture of Sonny somewhere. He also came on my July trip, go and check that out, great trip. Yeah, I was on this climb and it was gravel, shaly, rocky for probably about 6 miles, and we're talking anywhere between 5 and 10% on the gradient. I got to the top, my legs were beat, I still had about 10 kilometers to go, but thankfully it was like mostly downhill and flat. My trip computer was telling me it was like -2, I was freezing, I was wearing all of my gear. At that moment, was I loving life? No, not really. Did I know I would have to get to camp, set everything up, and I'd be freezing and then make some food and get warm afterwards? I was looking forward to that bit. But at the time, that's a struggle. That's the bit you look back on and go, I'm proud I made it through that. That's an achievement. At the time, not so fun. Afterwards, nice little memories. So treat it like that. You're not always going to be out there having an amazing time. There's going to be struggles. You might have some issues with your bike. You know, it might be issues with the weather. It could be issues with gear if something goes wrong. Try and see the bigger picture. It's easy to just get sucked in and be like, right, in the moment right now, I'm cold, I'm wet, I'm 20 miles from where I said I was going to put my tent up. Just try and just for 1 second, just go big picture and go, no, I'm going to battle through this, because the sense of achievement at the end, you'll have earned it, and it's well worth it. So just trust me. If you're out there in the cold, stick in. You can do it. Okay, point number 3. Route planning versus no route planning. We're going to cover them both, and I'm going to become 20-year-old me, single, yeah, young, free, fit, and then I'm going to be 34-year-old me, which is this is me right now, married, father of 2, job commitments, things like that, okay? You know which way this is going. 20-year-old me, he's not planning a route. He's getting a bike and he's putting his bags on and he's filling it with what he thinks he needs, because he's 20 and he probably doesn't really have much of a clue, and he's going to pick a destination and start pedaling. Great. Brilliant adventure. Go wherever you want. No time constraints. You're just out there exploring. If there's a big town with a tourist attraction you want to go and check out, go and check it out. If you're riding along a back B road and you see something weird and wonderful up on the hill, away you go, check it out. 34-year-old me. I've got 2 lovely little kids at home and a lovely wife. Make sure I mention that before she finds out. I've got to be back. I'm running my trips Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 34-year-old me is safety first. What if something goes wrong? They need to know where I'm going, which way I was going to get there, where I planned on pitching my tent. If something catastrophic goes wrong with my bike and my wife's got to jump in the car and come and rescue me with the kids, she can follow the route that I've planned because I can just send her the links. The practical safety side of it, plan a route, okay? That doesn't mean it's not exciting. You can plan it wherever you want. Gravel trails, road. Just because you plan it out doesn't mean it's not going to be an adventure, okay? So don't get that in your head. But definite safety considerations for everyone, I would say, but definitely if you've got a family like myself. If you're young, free, single, you want to get out there and ride your bike to a random destination that you've picked out on a map, pack your bags up. I'd still let someone know roughly where you are or make sure you stay within phone signal, but yeah, that's pretty much it. That's route planning, that's me. And non-route planning, that's me 14 years ago. It's what it is. Okay, so we're on to point number 4. You get what you pay for. I'm not rich. Let's get that out of the way straight away. I'm not rich, and I'm not here saying you must spend a fortune on all of your bikepacking gear. Make sure you get the very, very best of stuff. What I'm saying is don't get the super cheap stuff, okay? Right here, this is a Sea to Summit Etherlite XT sleeping mat. Retails anywhere between 130 and 170 odd pounds, okay? And you're thinking, I could go down the shop, Jack, and get a foam mat for like £10. Why wouldn't I just use that? If I was on a foam mat in my January, February, March trips, I would have been a very miserable camper. 10 centimeters thick, air sprung pockets, it's got an R value, which is basically insulation value, and it's nice and comfortable. You're paying a premium for a premium product because it does a better job than a foam mat. Same with my tent. This is that Soloist XL from Alpkit. About £130, I want to say. Could I spend £20 on a cheap tent? Yes. Would I be worried about whether it's actually going to keep the water out? Yes. Would I be worried about the size and the weight of it, and would I be able to even fit it into my bikepacking setup? Yes. You can spend hundreds and hundreds of pounds on a tent. So this is pretty reasonably priced, and it's a great bit of kit. I recently bought some merino wool base layers, okay? I'm talking long john trousers and a nice long sleeve top. Different league. Could I buy cheap base layers that aren't merino wool and pay about £10, £15 each? 100%. Have I worn those types of base layers on some of my trips? Yes. Like I say, I've only just got onto the merino wool ones. The proof's in the pudding. I mean, they are significantly warmer. They're lighter, they're warmer, they're more comfortable, they're odour resistant because it's merino wool, so for multi-day trips you don't have to worry about absolutely stinking in the mornings and things like that. Just save an extra few pennies and just get a slightly nicer kit, and then don't freeze in the middle of the night. Can you buy cheap bikepacking bags? Yes. Can you buy dry bags and then loads of ratchet straps and just ratchet it to all parts of your bike? 100% you can do that. I've got friends who do it, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But if you buy something specific, a nice 16.5 litre Ortlieb bag, yeah, make sure you check out my 6-month review on all of these bags. This is made for your bike. It's got all the attachment points for your bike. Yeah, it's got good space inside. It's completely waterproof. It's got reflective patches for the rear. It's extremely rugged. It won't rip unless you are cutting into it with a very sharp knife. It's got an air release valve. It's bikepacking specific. Do you pay a little bit more for it? Yes. But that's what you're paying for. You're paying for all the research and the design and the usability of it, I guess. So I'm not going to harp on anymore. Just treat yourself, get a nice setup, look after it all. You'll thank me for it. I'm going to shut up now. That's point 4, done. Shh. Okay, if you've made it this far, thank you. We are on to point number 5, and that is, you've got all the gear. Do you know how to use it? You've bought a new tent? That's great. You think, right, I'll whack it straight in the bags, we're going bikepacking this weekend. No. Go in your back garden, set the tent up, so that if you're delayed or, you get caught up, you get to camp and it's dark, you know how to put this tent up. You don't want to be doing it for the first time in the pitch black and not have a clue what you're doing. Nah, that's no good. And same with everything else. Sleeping mat, make sure, simple stuff, you know how to inflate it, you know how to deflate it, you know that, it sounds simple, oh, you just deflate it and put it back in its bag. This one right here, this is the Etherlite XT from Sea to Summit. You really have to deflate it. I mean, you have to spend the time getting all the air out, because otherwise it's not fitting back in here, and if it's not fitting back in here, it's not fitting back in my seat pack, and it's not fitting in my bike. So spend the time, get to know your gear. How do you use your stove? What kind of gas do you need? Buy your gear, get it all together, have a little party in the back garden, set it all up, maybe spend the night in your back garden, have a little sleep. Is it comfy? Are you warm? Are you cozy? Is your sleeping bag any good? Do you think you need better base layers? Yeah? Little things like that. Get to know it all. It will keep you right, because there's going to be a time where you're going to have to put it up in the absolute, I nearly swore, torrential rain, the pitch black. There's a chance in the winter, like on some of my trips, go and check out episode 1, 2, 3, episode 3 I think at Aylmore Reservoir. I woke up and it had snowed. Had to go down to the river, scooping the water out into my water filter bag. I don't think, honestly, my hands have ever been as cold. But yeah, know how to use it all. Make it as easy as you possibly can so that when the conditions are challenging, you're not giving yourself the additional challenge of, crap, I don't know how to do this. Okay, so there we have it. They are the 5 things that I've learned as a new bike packer. Hopefully, all the mistakes I've made and the things I've learned over the last 7, 8, 9 months will help you not make the same mistakes. So if you are new to bike packing, or you know, maybe you are a little bit experienced and you think, do you know what though, that's a fairly good point. Yeah, let me make the mistakes so you don't have to. We've covered, don't overpack, but again, don't underpack, okay? I know you think, bloody hell, that's a bit conflicting advice. It is, but both are equally as important, I promise you. Do it for yourself. Make sure you've got your own reasons, okay? Don't go out there and do it for anybody else. Don't think, I've got to ride at least 100 miles because that's all I see on Instagram. On Facebook, I saw this guy who rode across 7 countries. So, see you later, wife. I'm off to, I'm going to Wales today. No, do it for yourself. You don't need to do massive trips. Do a little 1 or 2 nighter like I do. Route planning versus no route planning. Yeah, for me, it's route planning, safety considerations, family man now. Younger me, maybe no route planning, proper adventure, but each to their own, okay? And then we've got you get what you pay for. Just take a little bit longer. Save those extra few pennies. Buy once, buy good gear, look after it. The end. Number 5, all that gear you've just bought and saved up for, yeah? Make sure you know how to use it, because there's going to be times on your trips where it's going to be miserable and cold and wet, and if you're fidgeting around or trying to get a phone signal to try and find a YouTube video on how do I do this or how do I do that, yeah, that's no fun. Test it out first. Maybe have a bike packing trip in the back garden. Whatever it takes, okay? Thanks very much for tuning in. I hope this has been somewhat helpful. I'm going bike packing in... what day are we on now? Yeah, a couple of weeks. I'm going to a castle. I'm not gonna... no spoilers on which castle I'm going to. But it's, yeah. It's a fairly big castle. I'm quite looking forward to it. If you've not seen any of my other episodes, go and check them out. Hit that subscribe button if you've enjoyed this and you like my adventures. But yeah, just for tuning in. I'll see you all next time. Thanks.